we go into Gardens here on Oasis. Both teams, it looks like, will be bringing out the Pharahs, and we might see a Moira actually coming out from New Paradigm. That'll be an interesting little spanner into the works here. They don't want the Discord orb, and that's not a sentence you say very often.
We'll see if New Paradigm can really take the fight to Mega here, because they have to get quite aggressive to make use of this Moira. Otherwise, you'd much prefer the Zenyatta to play from range. In fact, it's going to be somewhat difficult for Iron as well. Already copying a shot to the face from long range, I suspect, from NZNR, and that's kind of what the Discord and the Harmony should be able to do for your team. And even Ho Jin Ho feeling the pressure from Pichu, but at least, though, Pichu does go down.
But Ho Jin Ho's found himself in a small little corridor with the Pharah there, one of the only places he can actually make a difference, but has to back out for health reasons. So Merit going to use that Widowmaker to get a pick onto the Pharah, and it looks like Mega are getting first control of the point here. Iron's going to still throw in a couple of rockets from long range here, but it feels like they're just kind of staggering themselves here, as we do see Ho Jin Ho go down as well.
This is where compositionally Pichu does a lot of work on the Zenyatta. He's got that extra long-range engagement against players like Iron in the Sky. The Discord, we know, obviously helps as well, but you also see the kind of pressure. Ho Jin Ho wanted to go for the dive onto Pichu, takes a lot of damage back. Pichu does go down, he gets resurrected, but while that's happening, New Paradigm are losing control, they're losing the rest of their members. Mega take advantage, and they're already sitting at nearly 30% into the lead. This next fight does come on through right now, and it's T1 going to be entering against his tank counterpart first.
Oh, he's almost manages to get Merit there on the Widowmaker, but I think Merit just found the Mega health pack in the nick of time. A great stick coming out from Apudo will eliminate Frost, though. The Winston getting brought back up immediately by Froppy, who's then also taken down by Pichu. So a really back and forth fight here, but meanwhile, all the time, Mega has the point and it's ticking up in their favor. Some good dashing around by Apudo means Merit can't land a shot on him. And wow, finishes off the fight. Apudo, a great start for him. I
want to remind the audience as well, Apudo's actually here on a minor role swap. NZNR was seasons past the Tracer player for this team. Apudo was more of the projectile pick, so you would have expected Apudo to be the one playing the Pharah today, but this season so far, him and NZNR have swapped some roles somewhat. That's why Apudo is now onto the Tracer, and so far it has been working out, at least in this specific matchup. Merit now going to be going on to the McCree here, but Iron, the fellow DPS player, not going to have any luck today. And Merit, well, he goes down too.
Yeah, they're trying to force them to get back onto the point here. Someone is back capping, and New Paradigm almost make it back there, but Mega are just going to get the advantage and then fall back to the point at the last moment. Apudo does go down to Velvet, though, and Pichu just trying to keep both of the tanks alive there. You see him zigzagging between them with that Transcendence as T1 uses this health to go forward and get the kill on both of the New Paradigm healers.
New Paradigm is still somewhat in this fight right now. They've got a decent amount of trades. Frost has no HP though, and the two DPSs, both with ultimates, can still clutch this one through. Mega, on the other hand, have Apudo with that pulse bomb, same ability to perhaps clutch the point through. Mega, though, don't want to take too many risks. They understand that they can get away with this fight, have their 99% lead, and come back another day.
Yep, they're happy to just leave it there and, you know, try and get the point back. As you said, they've got a long time to do it, and a couple of ultimates to start off with as well. Ho Jin Ho has that pulse bomb ready. Iron is going to come around from somewhere with the barrage, hopefully try and catch someone unawares. It'll be tough to do it onto Rocket if he gets that Valkyrie up, but he's just looking for that. This could really help him sustain this fight.
All right, well, the pulse bomb did come out from Ho Jin Ho, followed quickly by a coalescence from teammate Velvet. And so far for New Paradigm, despite committing 2 ultimates into this fight, have found no results. Pichu, who did go down, comes back up alive. Valkyrie from Rocket is going to maintain control for Mega so far as they look to collect this point back into their favor. Finally, though, Merit, wow, getting himself to. Could be the turning point, but at the same time, T1 with the Primal Rage alive. Just going to get himself back out alive, at least for the time being. Mega's still not quite getting enough picks to secure them a point. A decent number of kills, but Merit with the double towards the end. That was a saving grace for New Paradigm.
Yeah, it really helped him just close it out, and going up to 70% now. We do have a switch off onto the Brigitte, so no longer are they going on that Zenyatta. This is the first time in a while I've seen a game with no Zenyatta on either side here. But we do see the Valkyrie come out immediately for Froppy, And this is going to try and help them get this fight. Merit's going to try and keep it range with a Deadeye.
That is two very decent picks coming out so quickly for New Paradigm. Make it 3. That's already a failed push for Mega, and now they're running out of time, 90%. And you've said here, no Zenyatta's. Well, there's no Widowmakers either. And for a lot of people, this is their dream meta. Are we in the future already?
Well, looking at the great surrounds of this Oasis, maybe we are AVRL, but once again, Merit starting off every fight with a pick.
Oh, he's getting himself more as well. Deadeye going to clean up Rocket. Mega had such a great start. Can Mushroom do something though? Double kill's nice, but you need more than that. Aputo's the only one alive. Isn't even going to be able to touch the point. Have the pulse bomb available. Doesn't even matter. Mushroom tried his best. And again, a double kill it's good. It's just not good enough this time.
Yeah, so we really saw Merit dominating from the top there, and it's odd to me that they didn't have the ability for either Mushroom or Titawat to really get up there and deal with him. I guess perhaps his aim is just so on point that if they do get up there and dive him, you know, they're just bringing out the headshots constantly and they can't stay up there. Either way, they really needed to find a different way to push him off, to take him out of the battle, to force him to retreat a little bit, you know, maybe even just force him back where he's doing less damage from range. Obviously, McCree does suffer from fall-off quite a bit.
We'll see if Mega can readdress things as well. Aputo has unfortunately disconnected, so pause has come through. We'll see if he can connect back in time. Thankfully, we haven't started the new map yet, which means Aputo's not going to be at some sort of disadvantage. Mega should be able to come in nice and fresh and on even standing, which they're going to need because being 0-1 down on the opening map isn't too great, but I think we can both agree here that Mega seem to have a very decently 99% to 0. You'd have to say it was most likely going to be their map, and a disappointing finish for them to not have claimed it.
Yeah, like that's sort of one side of it. The other side is on both, I think, Garden and City Center here. They're both very hard to take back. They're very easy points to gain control of, so that first point is extremely important. And then when you do see New Paradigm take control of the map, they just show exactly the same thing, how hard it is to get going. But I don't know, that the pick onto Brigitte at the end was a bit interesting for me. Usually you might bring that out against a Genji or a Tracer, but it was the McCree that they were having the trouble with, and it's not easy for Brigitte to get up onto that second level to give him that, to you know, really deal with him.
We'll see what level these players are going to be on as we do head into City Center right now. Triple DPS composition out of New Paradigm, only one tank, so Frost has got his work cut out for him today. Mega as well ends up getting a lot of pressure onto him early on. Doesn't die, but teammate Rocket not so lucky. Mega, though, now having lost 2 already, no mercy means no res. New Paradigm point has unlocked, looking to get that early cap. Mega going to be quite thankful to not lose anybody else, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it was a very dicey moment there.
I spoke
too soon. Playing with traffic a little bit. Oh, Merit. Nice shot here. Seems to be doing very well on the Widowmaker so far. He's going head-to-head with NZNR here, and perhaps this is why they made that change overall. We do see a double hit scan composition coming out from Mega right now with Aputo on the Tracer and NZNR on the Widowmaker.
There is one way that Mega can really take advantage of this. Again, Frost is the only tank, so if you pressure Frost out or if he goes down, the entire backline is opened up against New Paradigm. The problem here is that Mega so far have not been able to enter this fight. They've not been able to assault onto that backline because they are so rapidly losing their own members. And this is where the high damage utility out from New Paradigm's triple DPS composition is really coming into effect. Mega need to find alternate ways to get around this point to access that New Paradigm backline.
Yeah, they need to make sure they're staying nice and grouped as well, because obviously we just saw Ho Jun Ho pick off one by himself, getting a pick onto the opposition Widowmaker, and Merit opening up from long range. There's not much you can do about that rather than just playing safe and hiding around the corners. So, and if they can get to the point, if they can start the fight without taking one of those big hits, then they've got a chance. But once again, we see them not being able to do that.
And they now lost 2 as well. This is just not going the way of Megas. You'd be happy to run into traffic at this rate because it's better than giving away more ult charge to New Paradigm. Having said that, they're so charged up on that defensive side, you'd consider that there's maybe not too much charge to give away anymore, but for Mega, they're looking for entry. It just feels like they haven't really started this fight yet. That's been the biggest problem for Mega so far. They actually need to begin to fight rather than attempt to find their way in.
Yeah, they just don't seem to be able to predict where Merit is going to be, and as a result, they're losing so many early fights here. Finally, they seem to have got onto the point without losing too much, but there are a lot of ultimates going their way. Iron does find one with the Dragon Play, but he's immediately taken down by T1.
It's a good shutdown from T1, and also Mega's first kill in some time. Now we had to go into the overtime. Mega has actually capped that point back, so New Paradigm kind of gave that one away. Didn't quite hold on, despite having somewhat of an advantage on their defense. They did have an opening trade that they could have worked with, but the Dragon Blade being shut down was not very good for New Paradigm. Mega still maintaining this cap control for the time being. Merit, for the first time, is going to go down to NZNR instead of the other way around, and suddenly it's New Paradigm that are kind of just trickling on to this point. How many kills are they going to give away? Or better yet, how many kills can they maybe find, because Mega have slowed down?
Yeah, we see Pichu moving in with that rally. There's not a huge amount of teammates around him when he starts it, but they do come and heed the cry of the Brigitte as we see quite a few of them. See all that yellow building up, the armor getting stacked on top of them.
Apudo wishes he had more armor.
Yeah, because Widowmaker headshot's going to do all of that, as well as a rocket punch by Iron Man, both one-shotting the members of Mega.
It's doing a lot of work right now, whether it's the left fist or the right one. Iron finds the kills no matter what. Mega, player by player. Rocket not even going to get this resurrection if and when New Paradigms, not even if at this stage, do get this cap over immediately into the overtime. And for Mega, they just got to get members back on right now, but it's not seeming likely. Apuda went down again. No one can touch the point. If Gardens was mostly a Mega advantaged map where you'd expect them to be able to win, City Center absolutely was not. City Center was all New Paradigm all the way.
Yeah, wow, they really made that 3 DPS composition work, didn't they? I mean, you said one of the keys might be trying to get the tank out of the front line and really open things up from there, but they didn't seem to be able to do that very much. And I feel like one of the other ways they could have done it is really just trying to stick together a little bit more and trading out. Because when you've got 3 DPS fighting at once, they're all squishy. Often you don't have enough heals because you don't have the extra defense matrix or anything like that. You really can't just throw out enough heals to get all those DPS doing something at once. So unless they get an overwhelming advantage by getting those first couple of picks, usually the other side can win out.
Also, do want to say for Mega as well, you can see the confirmation there, New Paradigm picking up map number 1. For Mega, another way they could have potentially won is the fact that if they put enough pressure on certain members, and I'm not just talking about Frost the Tank here, consider that when they only have one tank, it's much more difficult for New Paradigm to peel for their members. So if Mega can connect this dive onto New Paradigm, you've got one less tank that can really help out your members. Mega can find a large string of kills. And there are also kills against players that don't have a lot of total HP. The damage mitigation is severely hindered from the New Paradigm side, but because New Paradigm are constantly fighting initiation, they are being the more proactive team. They make the triple DPS damage burst output so great that Mega can't even get past the door.
Yeah, and I think one of that definitely does come down to the Widowmakers and where they're able to make space for their teams, because they didn't seem to be able to predict Merit. He was on the high ground, he'd come around the right side, he'd just look at them in spawn. There was a lot of different angles he was taking, and if he's confident enough in taking those angles and he never gets punished for it, i.e., the other Widowmaker kills him when he does go for one of those peaks, then it is quite tough for the team going up against the 3 DPS to really get any, a positive start to the fight.
So New Paradigm making their mark here, and Mega still yet to find a victory in this series. It kind of puts New Paradigm, overall in terms of, if we look at standings off one map, they were tied dead even, a 1-7 in terms of map scores. Both teams had an 0-2. New Paradigm's at least now a 2-7. Mega still at that 1-7. Mega kind of need to, it would be quite obvious to now say that they need some maps, but it's getting more and more dire. This is now a sort of series where you're starting to lose faith in whether Mega can really do this.
Wow, AVRL, man of just very harsh there. One map down and he's already counting out Mega. I'm not quite that.
It's in the manner in which the maps are lost, Genome, when you consider the fact that Mega couldn't conclude and close out a game where they had a 99% advantage, and then on the second map, they were so entirely shut out that it was just a bit of a non-affair. I'd like to see a turnaround on Kings Row, but off of what we've seen on Oasis and off of what we've seen from Mega this entire season, it becomes less and less likely with each preceding map loss, and this is why I'm starting to think it's time that's beginning to run out quite severely for Mega in this season.
Well, I do think there were some very specific strategies that came out there, right? Now, we're going into Kings Row, and a 3 DPS strategy isn't going to work here. A Pharah, well, you can bring that in, but you know, the kind of things we saw on Oasis there are somewhat specific to that map. Obviously, not everything, and you know, you'd have to say New Paradigm are definitely looking better overall right now. But I think if we go into Kings Row, we start seeing some heavier compositions, more tanks coming out, different picks going on the way of both teams here. I think Mega have got every chance here to come back into this. We are going to see the Xayah Hanzo combo come out, the double snipers here on defense for Mega, and it's a very different look for them, and I think it's probably going to play out pretty differently to how Oasis did.
Well, the silver lining is teams will always have the opportunity. Now let's see if Mega can take that opportunity and really run with it, where it's going to be New Paradigm reaching that finish line first. You kind of said this as well, Genome, but the adaptations coming through here and how flexible teams can be. Mega going to be running a shield-based composition with the Grav Dragon combo, setting a bit different tone, a bit of a different pace as well compared to New Paradigm, who are going to play a straightforward dive, I should probably say.
Yeah, so NZNR is not kissing the door, guys. I think he's actually trying to use his emote there to check around the corner and see if it's a good time for him to peek out.
Didn't see that.
Certainly not. Wow, it was that was a very quick start to the fight for New Paradigm. They picked up those first couple of kills, look, in less than the space of a sentence.
That was, yeah, barely enough time to explain what just happened. New Paradigm not wasting any time with it. Mega's composition very quickly fell over. Look, they did get the 2 return kills, but the rest of the team, for some time, you'd think, okay, well, 4v4 is doable, but can you make the rest work? And for Mega, they're going to have to try and make it work now on point B.
At least they died so quickly that they'll be able to have a go at holding this first choke on Kings Row, which is a strong defensive position, but my god, did they get absolutely demolished there. And I guess the other thing about that, with a nice pick from Maputo starting out this fight, is it gives New Paradigm so much time to push through the next 2 phases because they wasted absolutely none capping first.
Well, Mega have some catch-up to do right now, but with an opening pick onto Froppy, as was mentioned, that does allow Mega at least some tempo to play with. It means that they can set up near this cart section. Note that it seems like Mega actually have advantage and actually have control of the cart, and New Paradigm have to push into this defense, which is what Mega want to be able to do, but also at the same time, Ironed in the Skies does have the spam damage potential, so Mega just have to be able to sustain themselves. This push does now come on through with New Paradigm. Frost in the mix. Primal Rage, going to see if he can push Teedawat into the choke. And speaking of being pushed into the choke, it's the Dragon Strike that may be opening up some space, and with it, Mega have at least got 2 picks, but now they're losing so much more.
Yeah, Merit, he's always seems to be chiming in on the Widowmaker here. He's a constant threat from New Paradigm, and Mega are not having a lot of luck dealing with him. Even there, getting a great headshot onto Mushroom, who's desperately trying to save that charge. Look at that, 90%. He was about 100 when he got hit in the head by Merit. Another rocket from Iron perhaps could have finished him off, but luckily he saves that, because when he's going to come out here and use this Graviton Surge, unless Tato can eat it up, that energy is going to be a huge factor in how much damage comes into it.
Alright, we'll see what Mega can do with the grab, because they don't have the Dragon to combo with it. They might not need it if they can just land a really perfect ult here from Mushroom. Self-destructing, split the players on Mega up, and here comes that grab. Does maybe pick up 2 players, but one of them is Transcendence Velvet. So most players are not going to take too much damage. Teedawat with the Earth Shatter, but again, we need to start seeing some more kills. Merit does go down to the Hammer Swing, chasing down Velvet as well. The Swinging Doom from Teedawat going to be able to clean up that player, but can Mega actually hold on? Maputo wants to say yes.
Well, the metronome of Teedawat's hammer there, he can just feel his time slipping away from him, and Velvet goes down eventually, but they haven't got the point just yet. It's Iron's Doomfist that comes out and secures that for them.
that's got to be really painful for Mega to deal with. And when they just thought they had won that fight, Iron comes through, Doomfist in hand, it knocks a couple players out, caps that point, and suddenly we're on to see Merit's been kind of the biggest factor here for New Paradigm. And I want to say we didn't see Merit at all. He's been a new pickup for this New Paradigm team. And also last week when New Paradigm were kind of struggling, Froppy wasn't here, Ulsubi the sub was playing, so now New Paradigm all geared up. Their A-list team are coming into the fray, and Mega are not handling this too well.
No, the Korean roster could be too much for Thailand to deal with here. As Pichu goes down quite low, NZNR as well. Frost is just creating havoc in the back line there along with his Genji companion. They have just split Mega apart completely now, and a Valkyrie isn't even enough to keep Titawat alive.
We're not even really seeing trades here. Opudo got himself 1 kill, which does get resurrected back in, so just no advantages for Mega to play with. Going to attempt to see some sort of stall here, but Pichu's already down. The Mei not going to do much help. This cap now is just inevitable. A New Paradigm, as the swift strike from Iron would tell you, swiftly get that cap across the point. Mega have got a lot of work to do if they want to maintain some form of victory opportunity on King's Row.
And his Genji there was really fearsome at the end. As soon as he saw them less than 50 health, he'd just go in with a swift strike, and he got a lot of finishing blows there. That said, a lot of that damage was also coming out of Merit, who not only was finding picks at the start of the fight, but was continuing to chime in thick, through thick and thin. It didn't matter what stage of the fight. You know, oftentimes you see the Widowmakers go a bit quiet because, you know, there's people jumping all around them. It's a bit harder to keep track of all those targets, but Merit seems to have no trouble whatsoever doing that.
Let's also review this replay just a second. You actually notice that half a Mega are on the ground, including both the tanks and Opudo. New Paradigm are happy to ignore that, go straight to the back line. Shields coming down from their main tank, Frost, and with that New Paradigm just get themselves a number of important kills. We did see Mega pick up 2, and the only 2 they managed to get were coming from the players that survived the initial dive from New Paradigm, but the win condition was quite clear there. New Paradigm were not interested in taking the ground brawl. They were interested in annihilating the backline, and with that, Mega just did not have enough remaining members and support to maintain that A defense. So New Paradigm just correctly identifying and then executing very quickly how to dismantle that Mega defense.
Yeah, and I think the damage boost was also a big factor there. I think it was Froppy damage boosting Velvet on the Zenyatta, if I'm not incorrect. Obviously, at the start of the fight, that's one of your best opportunities to do it. No one's taken damage yet. You're happy to throw out the damage beam rather than, you know, worrying about who might get hurt. So that was a great start to that fight, and just nice to be able to see how they executed so quickly onto Mega, who have, I'd say, almost no hope of taking the first point that fast, especially when they're going up against such a tanky lineup as this.
I do want to comment right now, if you look at your bottom right of your screen, Tetho onto the Diva has been continually denying these conk blasts coming out from Inzuna, who's now forced to swap onto the Widowmaker. Mega did try to dive on top of that tank set up on the high ground as well, but New Paradigm swapped them straight off, bat them away, try again, they say. And Mega, all their little tricks right now are unfortunately being read and counted up by New Paradigm in the most spectacular of ways, in the most accurate of ways, in the most effective of ways.
Yeah, of course, the concussive blast is a projectile just like any other bullet in this game, and it can be eaten up by that defense matrix. Merit is all alone up in the Alfred there, just trying to make a first pick as he's done so many times during this fight. A great hook from Velvet is going to bring Rocket in, and they have got no mercy heals for the rest of this fight.
Showing no mercy either, Velvet collecting himself this second. I want to point out this is a solo healer defense right now. Velvet, the support player, putting himself onto the Roadhog. We're seeing a lot more of this type of composition being played in metas, I guess, kind of globally and in all different levels of competition as well. And for Mega right now, struggling to pierce through that initial front line, that very tanky front line, consisting of a Diva, Orisa, and Hog, played by Tetho, Frost, and Velvet. And they maintain this defense for some time more. For Mega, they really need to get something going.
Again, they get the hold halt hook combo there. This time it's Titawat who's on the receiving end of that, and even with the double sniper composition here from Mega, they can't deal with that single healer. As you can see, Froppy is very, very safely ensconced in that corridor over there, and they can't deal with it. And they do manage to get ironed, so he was flying up there. Oputo does manage to grab him with a Storm Arrow, and this is going to be their opening to go in. You do see the D.Va getting right up there, almost losing her mech, and then it's going to swap out with the other tank as Mushroom. And Titawat really just trade bodies there, trying to make something happen, but they cannot get New Paradigm off this. A great Bionade.
I was going to say though, that being said, the Bionade did come down from Rocket onto the ground there, and Oputo picks himself up too. So opportunities are now being opened up for Mega Esports as their ultimates do come online as well. Velvet, who is dead, does not get a chance to use that whole hog, but you do still need to see if Mega can get onto the point. This is all off the fact that because they killed Iron in the Sky of Zafira, you've only got one heal. If Froppy goes for that resurrection, well, guess what? There's no mercy for the rest of the players. Nano Boost going to be onto Titawat, but can we see some effect here? Dragon Strike was eaten up by Tito as well. He's hungry this game, and he will be satiated because New Paradigm right now continue to hold on to this point. Titawat collects himself one kill. One kill is a start for Mega, but they need a little bit more than a start right now. Titawat with number 2. 2 will be traded back by New Paradigm. And right now, this is Mega, unfortunately, not having enough members, not even getting one tick onto the point. Disaster for this offense.
That was disastrous for them, absolutely. AVRL, they had 5 ultimates they used there, I think, or maybe 4. Either way, it was their one last big push. There's 30 seconds left. There's no chance they're getting all of those ultimates up again. They've even switched over, you see, a double switch from NZNR. He's on the Brigida now. We've got the Reinhardt coming out, along with the Lucio and the Moira. So they're hoping to sustain on the point. That's what this comp is going to do. The shield bash is there to make sure if anyone comes down to meet with them, they're going to have a hard time of it.
And finally now, this Dragon Strike's definitely going to come through. Iron gets a slap to the face with the whip shot. Into in his life, but he's going to come back alive anyway, so ultimately not too much gained by that New Paradigm. Not going to be phased either. One tick has finally come through. Titawat has gone down, but we need to start to see more picks out of Mega. Sounded like a bit of a broken record here, but it's the fact that Mega just are not getting enough kills. 2 coming into effect, but it's not quite going to be enough. Where are the rest of the Mega kills? 1 tick is all they're going to get, and 1 tick is not nearly enough. That's going to be the point ticked over. New Paradigm collect that victory. 2-0 now into the series. They put themselves in a winning position and now on match point.
I mean, literally the only time they managed to kill Froppy was right at the end of the map when it was already over. And you talked about how Froppy going for a res is such a dangerous thing, but you know, they managed to get a res there off at the end, which not only means Froppy's in a dangerous position, but also that none of the rest of the team is getting healing at that point. Sure, the Hog can heal himself, but you know, while you're resurrecting, you can't be using your healing beam on someone else, and still throughout that, Mega don't get picks. That's inexcusable.
And we also got to commend the big individual players there. Teto, probably the player to watch on that defense, ate all the concussive blasts from ins and out onto the start, knew exactly what Mega were trying to do. Then Oputo lost his dragon there in the middle as well. That was a pretty clutch defense matrix coming out from Teto. So very strong individual plays from him and also Merit throughout the series. It's going to give New Paradigm that much needed lead to potentially give them a very clean sweep of this series if they can continue this roll on through. And Mega looked, they barely had time to start with to really kick this Season 2 campaign into gear. And I fear right now that their Season 2 hopes may be dashed unless they can collect a reverse sweep in this series.
Well, maybe, as you say, the New Paradigm coming back with their improved roster, their full lineup, not having to rely on any subs. That's putting them a cut above Mega here. They certainly looked at there. I mean, when you push in like that with 5 ultimates and you can't make anything happen, you can't, you know, at least throw a couple of them at the mercy and try and eliminate that one healer that you've got to, this is basically the linchpin of your defense, then there's definitely something wrong there.
We'll see if they can fix those issues, or we'll see if New Paradigm are going to finish the series 3-0, 3-1, 4-0, you name it. The possibilities right now seem to be endless for this Korean side. The possibilities are still open for Mega, but they have to be able to take it, and we'll find out if that happens right after this break.